Security pulled black CEO off plane. Then she pulled $5 billion in funding from the airline. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far the story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. She boarded first class like she always did, dressed in elegance, calm, and quiet power. But within minutes, flight security was circling her, questioning her ticket, her identity, and even her right to be there. Passengers stared. Phones recorded. And then she was escorted off the plane like a criminal. What they didn't know, she wasn't just a passenger, she was the CEO of a company funding billions into that very airline. What happens when power is underestimated because of race? Watch until the end to see how one decision cost them everything. Ava Lattimore wasn't just any executive, she was the CEO of a global logistics empire that quietly powered major airlines through back-end investments and fuel contracts. Reserved and strategic, Ava often traveled alone, booking flights under a pseudonym to avoid press attention. On this particular day, she wore simple slacks, a blazer, and minimal jewelry, intent on flying from LA to New York for a high-stakes board meeting. She checked in early, passed through security, and boarded her first-class seat like she'd done countless times before. But this time, whispers followed her. A flight attendant frowned. Security was radioed. And without warning, Ava found herself accused of seat theft, being in the wrong class, and ultimately being forcibly removed. No one asked questions. No one believed her. But they were about to learn who she was and the cost of humiliating the wrong woman. Back in the terminal, Ava sat in silence as passengers stared. A security officer had muttered, "You people always try this. No apology. No investigation. It's just racial profiling masked as procedure." Ava didn't shout. She didn't protest. She took out her phone and made one call to her company's CFO. That airline, unknowingly, relied heavily on her company for fuel logistics and private investment. Within minutes, emails were sent. Contracts were flagged. Phone lines buzzed. On board, a few passengers who had filmed the incident started uploading the footage. Twitter erupted. Black woman removed from plane despite having first-class ticket. It went viral in hours. Reporters picked it up. Ava's name, face, and authentic identity were trending before the plane even landed. Meanwhile, inside the airlines, executive offices, panic set in. Calls from Ava's legal team arrived, followed by notices from major investment groups. Within 24 hours, $5 billion in backing was under threat. Ava hadn't raised her voice, but her power echoed louder than any headline. And yet, she remained calm. She didn't want revenge. She wanted accountability. The airline CEO called personally, begging for a meeting. Ava agreed at her office, not his. When he walked in, she slid a folder across the table. The termination list. The flight attendant, the gate agents, and the internal security manager are all listed. The airline had publicly apologized, but Ava wasn't finished. "This isn't about me," she said. "It's about every black woman who's been told she doesn't belong, even when she's paid the full fare." By the end of the meeting, $5 billion in funding had been allocated. And Ava's statement to the press? Simple. Respect is not optional. The airline stock plunged within hours. The incident sparked a nationwide conversation. Airlines across the country reviewed their internal training. Ava donated part of the pulled funding to a watchdog nonprofit focused on addressing racial bias in the travel industry. Her quiet, powerful stance sent ripples beyond aviation into boardrooms, policy chambers, and classrooms. She didn't shout to be heard. She didn't need to. Her power wasn't in her voice, it was in her values, her control, her legacy. And now, every time a black woman boards a plane, She boards with more dignity because Ava took a stand. How many more like her must be disrespected before real change takes flight? If you enjoyed this story and thought it provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Take care.